Have you ever had someone stare at you in disbelief when you told them your age? Maybe they laughed and said, "No way, you look much younger than that." At first, it feels like a simple compliment, something casual, something small. But what if it's not small at all? What if looking younger than your age has almost nothing to do with skincare, genetics, or luck, and everything to do with the way you carry your soul? Because the truth is, some people grow old at 30, while others remain alive at 70. And the difference is not in their face, it is in their spirit. Most people think aging begins in the body, but the Stoics believe something deeper. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. In other words, the way you think eventually becomes the way you look. Your stress, your bitterness, your regrets, your fears, they slowly carve themselves into your expression, into your posture, into your energy. But the opposite is also true. Peace leaves traces too. Purpose leaves traces too. And today, you will discover the hidden psychological traits shared by people who seem to age slower than everyone around them. Stay until the end, because the final trait is the one most people never realize is secretly destroying their youth. And if this already feels personal, comment 1. Imagine someone who has been through heartbreak, betrayal, failure, disappointment, yet somehow still carries light in their eyes. Most people become harder after pain, but you learned how to become stronger without becoming bitter. This is not weakness, this is strength. There are people who allow stress to consume their entire identity. You can see it on their faces. The constant tension, the tired eyes, the emotional exhaustion hidden behind forced smiles. They replay old arguments in their heads. They obsess over things they cannot control. And slowly, their body begins to reflect their inner chaos. Seneca warned about this thousands of years ago when he said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most people age because they fight life every single day. But there is another kind of person, the kind who gets hurt but keeps going, the kind who loses everything but still laughs, the kind who refuses to let pain poison their spirit. These people understand something powerful. Life will wound you. That part is unavoidable. But suffering becomes permanent only when you keep reopening the wound in your mind. And the moment you stop carrying every burden emotionally, your body changes too. Your face softens. Your energy becomes lighter. Your presence feels calmer. Think about the people who radiate peace. They are not people with perfect lives. They are people who stop letting darkness live inside them rent-free. Epictetus taught that we cannot control external events, only our response to them. Most people spend years trying to control the world. But you learn to control yourself instead, and that changes everything. This is not about pretending life is easy. It is about refusing to let life harden you. Because the truth is, stress does not just steal happiness, it steals youth. And the scary part? Most people never notice it happening. They think aging is natural, but sometimes it is emotional exhaustion disguised as aging. Now think about this carefully. Have you ever met someone older who still has a childlike energy? Someone curious, excited, open to life, almost impossible to emotionally age? There is a reason for that. They never stopped evolving. Most people fear change because change threatens their identity. They cling to routines that no longer fulfill them. They repeat the same conversations, the same habits, the same emotional cycles, and eventually their spirit becomes rigid. Their body follows. But you stayed adaptable. This is not instability. This is growth. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly that nature itself is change. Everything moves. Everything evolves. And the people who remain mentally young are the ones who flow with life instead of resisting it. They try new things. They explore new ideas. They remain curious about the world. Even after disappointment, they still believe life can surprise them. That mindset creates a different energy. You can feel it immediately when someone still has wonder inside them. Their conversations feel alive. Their eyes feel awake. Their presence feels fresh. Most people slowly become emotionally predictable, but you kept learning, kept questioning, kept growing. And that mental flexibility protects something most people lose far too early: aliveness. Because real aging is not wrinkles. Real aging is emotional stagnation. It is when someone stops dreaming, stops exploring, stops feeling excited about tomorrow, And maybe this explains why some people look old even in their 20s, while others remain magnetic in their 60s. One person surrendered to routine, the other stayed awake to life. And stay with me here, because the next trait might be the most overlooked secret of all. Most people suppress their emotions because they think emotional control means emotional silence. They hold everything inside: the anger, the sadness, the loneliness, the disappointment. They smile while silently collapsing within themselves. But emotions do not disappear when ignored. They transform into tension, into stress, into exhaustion, into heaviness, and eventually into physical aging. Think about someone who never allows themselves to cry, never allows themselves to speak honestly, never allows themselves to express vulnerability. Over time, their face begins carrying the weight of everything they refuse to release. But you learned how to feel without drowning. This is not emotional weakness. This is emotional freedom. There is something deeply youthful about emotionally honest people. When they laugh fully. When they love openly. When they hurt, they allow themselves to heal instead of pretending nothing happened. And because of that, their spirit stays lighter. Seneca believed that suppressed emotions enslave the mind. Most people become prisoners of feelings they never process. But emotionally free people move through life differently. They release pain instead of storing it, and the body notices. Science now confirms what ancient wisdom already understood. Chronic emotional suppression increases stress hormones, damages sleep, weakens immunity, and accelerates aging. But emotional release does the opposite. It creates relief, recovery, lightness. This is why some people seem radiant even without perfect features. Their energy is unclogged, their spirit breathes freely, and people can feel that. If this resonates with you, comment freedom. Now imagine walking into a room where every conversation feels negative. Complaints, gossip, criticism, constant emotional heaviness. Even after a few minutes, your body feels drained. That is because energy is contagious. Most people underestimate how deeply their environment shapes them. They think stress comes only from work or responsibilities, but often it comes from the people surrounding them every day. Negative people age you faster, not metaphorically, literally, because your nervous system absorbs emotional environments constantly. If you spend years surrounded by conflict, pessimism, and emotional chaos, your body remains trapped in stress mode. Your face tightens, your sleep worsens, your spirit becomes heavier. But emotionally intelligent people protect their energy carefully, and maybe you do too. This is not selfishness. This is self-respect. You choose conversations that inspire you instead of draining you. You spend time with people who bring peace instead of pressure. You understand that protecting your mind is protecting your future. Marcus Aurelius warned against becoming like the people who wound you. Most people absorb negativity unconsciously, but you learned how to stay grounded without becoming cold. And that balance preserves something rare, inner peace. There is a glow that comes from emotional safety. You see it in people who laugh deeply, who feel accepted, who feel emotionally alive. And no expensive anti-aging product can imitate that energy, because youth is not only biological, it is emotional. And the people around you either feed that youth or slowly destroy it. Now let me ask you something difficult. When was the last time you felt genuinely excited to wake up? Not obligated, not pressured, excited. Because one of the biggest differences between people who age rapidly and people who remain vibrant is purpose. Most people survive life. Very few truly live it. They wake up tired, move through routine mechanically, repeat the same emotional patterns every day. And slowly, something inside them fades. Their eyes lose brightness, their posture loses energy, their spirit loses fire. But passionate people age differently. Even when tired, they still feel alive. Even when struggling, they still feel connected to something meaningful. And that changes the body more than most people realize. Purpose creates energy. Energy creates vitality. Vitality creates youthfulness. This is not motivation. This is biology. When you pursue meaningful goals, your brain produces chemicals connected to hope, excitement, and emotional resilience. Your body responds to purpose, like sunlight responds to growth. Think about artists, builders, teachers, Creators. People obsessed with meaningful missions. They often carry a youthful intensity long after others emotionally give up, because purpose pulls them forward. Most people let routine slowly bury their spirit. But you kept something alive inside yourself, something that still wants more from life. And that matters, more than appearance, more than genetics, more than age itself. Epictetus once said that only the educated are free, but true education is not just knowledge, it is awareness. Awareness that your inner world shapes your outer reality every single day. And now we arrive at one of the deepest truths of all. The past. Most people never leave it. They replay old betrayals endlessly, old mistakes, old regrets, old embarrassments. Their body may move forward through time, but emotionally, they remain trapped years behind. And eventually, the burden becomes visible. Resentment ages people. Guilt ages people. Bitterness ages people. Because the body carries what the mind refuses to release. But you learned how to let go, not because it was easy, but because you realized carrying old pain only destroys you. This is not forgetting. This is liberation. There is something incredibly youthful about people who are emotionally present, people who are no longer chained to what happened years ago. They move lighter, smile easier, breathe deeper. Their energy feels open instead of guarded. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that life is short, not in a depressing way, but in a freeing way. Why waste precious years carrying emotional poison? Why sacrifice your peace to memories that cannot be changed? Most people think forgiveness is about the other person, but real forgiveness is self-protection. It is choosing peace over emotional imprisonment. And when people finally release the past, something strange happens. Their face changes, their energy changes, their entire presence softens, because peace is visible. And maybe that is the real secret behind looking younger than your age. Not avoiding pain, not avoiding difficulty, but refusing to let darkness permanently settle inside you. Most people become emotionally old long before they become physically old. They lose curiosity, lose openness, lose hope, lose emotional flexibility, but some people protect their inner world carefully. They stay resilient, curious, passionate, emotionally free, and because of that, time touches them differently. This is not luck. This is mindset. This is emotional discipline. This is the quiet power of a peaceful soul. So if people tell you that you look younger than your age, maybe it is not just your appearance they notice. Maybe they are sensing something deeper. A spirit that never fully surrendered to bitterness. A mind that remained alive. A heart that kept moving forward despite everything. And in a world where so many people are emotionally exhausted, that energy becomes unforgettable. If this message spoke to you, comment alive. And remember this, youth is not measured only by years. It is measured by presence, by curiosity, by peace, by emotional freedom, by the ability to keep your spirit soft in a hard world. Most people let life close them. But you stayed open, you stayed alive. And that may be the rarest thing of all. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more deep Stoic insights about psychology, emotional mastery, and inner strength. And if you want to discover the hidden habits that silently destroy mental peace without people realizing it, watch the next video now. It may completely change the way you see yourself and the people around you.